Thank you, Ms. Pravina. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is Kiran Nellure. I have 16 years of teaching experience, teaching IGCSE, economics, ASA level economics, global perspectives. I'm also the assessment practitioner, assessment practitioner, assessment specialist for economics and global perspectives. Today's topic is about assessment, how to write effective MCQs. Most teachers were actually asking in the group saying that will it be applied to this subject? It's an overall where you can apply these principles to your subjects. I thank school reformers for this opportunity to showcase this presentation. And we'll begin now. So assessment, we'll start with what is this assessment is all about. So assessment in terms of education, we say it's a wide variety of methods or tools that educators use to evaluate, measure, and document the academic readiness, learning progress, skill acquisition, or educational needs of students. But I believe assessment is there in every walk of our life. When we were born, the doctor might have checked us, whether we are crying, whether we are free of defect. Or take an example, you have learned to drive car, and after completion of your driving, you go to license authority to get whether you are actually getting the driving license or not. So assessment is not limited to only education. It is there in every walk of our life. So here we are discussing only about the educational assessment, in what way we can write effective MCQ. This is a brief outline of it. I may not justify within 25 minutes. This is 60 hours of learning basically, but still I will try my best so that you can implement this in your classroom practice. So first we will go about the principles of assessment, but I'll explain two of this. Principles of assessment include validity, reliability, fairness, standards, comparability,
Sorry, Mr. Kiran, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah. Today we'll be discussing about reliability and standards. Reliability in educational assessment, I'll start with I'll give you an example. Take an example. One essay has been written by a student. The essay is of 20 marks, and you have given this to 3 teachers. Teacher A have given out of 20, 19. Teacher B have given out of 20, 10. And teacher C have given out of 25. So do you think this result is reliable? No, it is not reliable. So reliability in education assessment means if a student answer sheet has been given for marking, every teacher who is correcting the paper should give the same set of marks. For that, in the most examination bodies and all, what they do is they go for standardization. Standardization is a method by which all the assessment specialists, that is examiners, will mark as per the standard, as per the requirement. That means teacher A and teacher B more likely will give 20 to 19 or 20 or 18. So that is reliability in assessment. If you are giving different marks, we cannot say reliability. So, and also we'll talk about standards now. Again, take an example of a school entrance exam. Now, wherein which your school keeps an entrance exam to admit the student into your school. So you have a set of standards maintained. You already have decided for class 10, I would have entry into class 11th, I'll have this standards to be maintained. Now, you cannot give class 1 student a class 10 paper. That will be unfair altogether. So we have to maintain standards. That is also very, very important. At the same time, we look at fairness, we compare, we manage. So these are the principles of assessment, which when we make question paper, whether it is multiple choice question, whether it is a data response, whether it is descriptive essay type, any paper, we ensure that this principle of assessment has to be followed. Next section. Can you hear me, Ms. Pravina?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So validity, reliability, fairness, standard, comparability, practical. The few purpose of assessment. What is the need to do this assessment? We compare. So why we compare? Because we compare with one examination session to the other. We make a comparison. In what way one particular cohort of students, that is group of students, are performing, in what way they are performing. So we do this comparison. For comparison's sake, we need assessment. Then qualification. Take an example. Children do exam, maybe A levels, GCSE, for what they are doing, to getting some qualification. So that is the second purpose of assessment. Then we have selection. Now again, we go back to our school student selection process. We decide whether that particular student is suitable to our school or not. We decide whether to select him or not to select. That is one more purpose. Then licensing. Licensing also we do to ensure that the child, or whatever. Let's take an example of a medical practitioner. He gets this license to do, to show his skills basically. Now, if he is able to perform well or MBBS degree, then he will be given an MBBS degree to do a medical surgery. Or so for that reason, licensing are given. And then we have diagnosis. Diagnosis ensure this. We actually, what we do in checkpoint examination, if you are aware, once the checkpoint results are declared, then we come to know the strength and weakness of the child. So it helps in diagnosis. So whenever we conduct examination, we just see whether who is passed or failed, but we have to diagnose why he or she is failing in the examination. We have to diagnose the issue. As an educator, it's our responsibility to understand where the student is having strength and weakness. So these are the few purposes of assessment. Now, next section would be about advantage of having multiple choice questions. The first advantage, scoring is easy, objective, and reliable. Obviously, every student, if you ask, they'll say yes. MCQs, please give us MCQs. It is easy because we can guess. It's an objective and reliable. It's not like essay where one teacher gives you out of 25, one more teacher will give you 15. It is reliable. Right means right, wrong means wrong. So there is an advantage here. Scores are less influenced by guessing than true or false item. If you are preferring to give true or false questions in the exam, it is having only two options, true or false. So that the thinking capacity of student might be limited to only true, it is true, it is false. But whereas MCQs, if you are giving, they think. There is one more advantage. Scores are more reliable than subjectively scored item. So we can trust this course well when compared to essays, because as I told you earlier, there is a one right answer for this. Again, one more advantage is performance can be compared from class to class and year to year. That is the beauty of this. We can compare 2023 batch was better in MCQ, whereas 2024 batch is not doing well. So what steps I have to take so that their performance can be improved? Now we'll talk about disadvantages of MCQs. May encourage guessing. So that is what most of the students will do. They think this MCQ paper is very easy. They don't study. They directly write the exam because they feel that, yeah, we can guess and we get marks for it. So it encourages guessing. There is one of the drawback we have for multiple choice question. Student can sometimes read more into question than it was intended. That is one more drawback. So sometimes student, especially for numerical MCQ, what they do is they tend to waste a lot of time on reading the question and they waste their time instead of answering other question. They ensure that if they are not getting the right option there, they will waste their time. They read and then a lot of time is consumed. That is a drawback. Constructing good item is time consuming. Good item means the question here. It is for teachers. Now, as a teacher, if we are not doing cut copy paste from past papers, if you are thinking and if you are making our own MCQs, it is a time consuming process. Now, there was a recent study by Cambridge. What they are estimating by 2030, it seems there will be a lot of teachers leaving the profession. One of the reasons being a lot of stress, a lot of usage of technology. What we are saying about AI, artificial intelligence will actually, they are saying that teacher will be so frustrated that they might leave the profession. So my suggestion would be for this, just slightly we are deviating from the topic. Take care of your health. That is very important. Reduce the stress that you can do by walk, maybe listening to music, cooking sometimes. It helps you to gain back that energy. There is a lack of feedback on individual thought process. It is difficult to determine why individual students selected incorrect response. We give MCQ paper and the students scored out of 10, say for example 5. We only think about the 5 correct answers. We should think about the wrong 5 answers, why he have opted for that. If we analyze, if we work on why he's making mistakes on that incorrect answer, definitely he will improve. He will improve his skill analytically. Why? What is making him to choose the wrong answer? That we have to, as an educator, we need to analyze why he's doing it. I'm not talking about some people, some students will definitely guess. There are few students who might do really well, but they go 3-4 MCQs wrong. Why they go? You have to sit with them. What is making them think like that? And ensure that why they are thinking, try to understand that and give them practice. A lot of practice is required. Same kind of question. Again, if you go to third point, constructing good item is a time consuming. It's a time consuming, of course, but for our children, we have to do it. We have to ensure that they are working on MCQs. Practice is very important. Take Cambridge MCQ papers, any subject, for say it's not limited to in economics or something, any subject where MCQ paper is there, you have to make them practice. So that is very, very important. Now, how to write an effective MCQ is the question. Why we have to and what way. So there are there are a lot of advice on how to write good MCQs, but because of time constant, we'll be discussing few in what way we can have effective MCQs. So first point, use of none of the above or all of the above has been avoided, should be avoided. So most of the time, even when I wrote national level entrance exam, I came across 2-3 questions where every time it has none of the above, all of the above option. And I always go all of the above and always correct. So that should be avoided. That in our option, we should never give none of the above or all of the above. It is a very vague multiple choice question. We should refrain from using it. We should never. If you're a teacher of physics, chemistry, and all, we should never do that. If you see any questions of past papers of Cambridge, you will never see this kind of question. None of the above, all of the above, rarely they will ask. So we should not do this practice. Second thing, all items have only one correct answer. Already our students are very much confused with MCQ paper. We should have only one correct answer. Don't give them two correct answers so that you choose the best one in them. Don't do that. Have the correct one, correct answer. That's the best practice. Options are presented vertically rather than horizontally. So sometimes we may come across the options are presented vertically. You should always ensure that it is presented horizontally. This will make it's a very good practice to do MCQs. I know most of us now are following this, but we have to remember, remind ourselves this options has to come horizontally rather than vertically. And finally, the content in the item are independent of each other. For example, a student doesn't need to get a previous MCQ question correct in order to attempt a later one. Usually for a numerical kind of questions, we get this kind of MCQs where the first question is right. Based on the first question, he'll give second question. If first question is correct only, he'll get second question right. That practice should be avoided. Each question should be independent. It should not be like one paragraph you give on that based only you are giving first question answer and that first question answer you are writing for second question. That should be avoided. Like if first question is correct only, he'll get second question correct. That link should not be there. So this is about the content. This is about the few tips which I wanted to give. Now, last month there was information which I wanted to tell you. There was an assessment horizon conference in UK. So they made an surveys and they come across one interesting statistics. It seems that by 2050, schools may have to shut down again. The reason is not COVID is coming back. The reason is there is a lot of change in climate. Heat waves. It is an alert to entire world. Now, what would be your practice? What would be your assessment technique? When again we shift back to online, that is a question to be asked. In what way you can fairly judge a student? Yes, he has not copied. Yes, he did. He did his work independently. In what way? We have some good news. What we can do to avoid this problem? My suggestion would be whenever we take an example of subject like economics, global perspectives, give one question at least on climate change, so that we'll make sensitive to students about this. They should be independent. They should be independent in thinking about this climate change. Don't give a chart work. Don't tell them to do a chart work in present. Give one question, because everyone will agree with me that even today, parents and children are worried only about marks. So give this assessment in your question paper. Maybe you can say, for example, how climate change may impact economy. They'll study it. They'll be sensitive to this, because 2050 is a base what they are keeping. So it is a very alarming situation for all of us. We have responsibility as an educators that we should ensure that our students be sensitive about this climate change. They have produced research papers wherein which climate change will affect like anything. So it is our responsibility. We don't want to see a situation where school will go back to home. We don't want to see that again, because I know most of them will be frustrating. We know that COVID days, how we were sitting taking classes online. So these two things to keep in mind. Teacher stress are rising, and there is a threat of global warming, climate change, extreme heat waves. And the research further says that we can mitigate this loss by installing more ACs. But I would suggest we should not have the days where more ACs are needed, but we'll make this generation more sensitive towards this, so that they will be taking care. Every assessment, ensure that you'll ask at least one question on that. Let them reflect on it, so that they will understand the importance of it. Because we have to think about the future generation also. We are educators. They say that fourth pillar of democracy is press, but I would say make teachers a fifth pillar of democracy. We are a roof for democracy. If we are not there, next generation won't be there. So from our side, what we can do? We can do this. We can bring a change in them. Not giving punishment, but we can tell them this is what you need to practice. Maybe about this. And more importantly, if you have to implement this, if you have to do this, we need to take care of our health. That is very, very important, because stress level by 2030 of teachers will be increasing because of competition from other schools. Your current school may have to challenge you, and you have to take challenge, no other option. But I would say, though AI is coming, your lesson plans are made by computer. One thing I'll tell you, no robot or no AI can replace teacher. They cannot. No machine can replace us. They will be there. It is we who has to take responsibility about our health. Your health is your concern now. Hospitals in general write your health is our concern, but now it is like your health is your concern. So we need to take care of our health so that we can take care of our children. So this is what I wanted to share. I know this is a outline of it. This is a 60 hours of learning assessment. I am very thankful to Cambridge Assessment Network for all their research, and also thankful to my school, Gitanjali, where I work in Begumpet, for their support. And I'm requesting all of you to please keep this in mind, that when you do this, it should be helpful to all our students. These are my sources. Thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, you can ask. I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran. If you can stop sharing your screen and so that audience can have a better view of you, please. Thank you. So the participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, or like I can unmute one by one at a time. Please message me, or I'll go ahead with my questions. Any questions from the participants? We have 22 participants.
Okay.
The lovely count. So anyone? Yes, Miss Isha Sharma has a question. I'll unmute.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Please tell me.
Sir, I teach business to IGCSE level, AS and A level.
Okay.
So regarding preparation of the question paper, we have paper 1 and 2 in all the grades from 9 to 12 for
I'm
business
sorry,
in
could you
Cambridge.
please repeat your
I-
question, ma'am? Your voice was breaking. Could you please repeat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll repeat it again. Sir, I teach from 9 to 12 business in
Okay.
Cambridge board.
Okay.
So we have two papers there, paper 1 and paper 2.
Okay.
So the thing which I am struggling with the preparation of the question paper is the formation up to the standard of what Cambridge expects us to prepare. So how can I, get that out of that barrier? Any suggestions from you? Because we have a proper insert and set standard of a paper, which for me it's a bit difficult for match to their standard. How can I overcome it?
Ma'am, what you have to do is basically see what is going on in the current scenario. Okay, like take an example of recent changes, international. I'm not talking about limited to India. Okay, and my suggestion would be to take out the past papers, make your children practice, and you use it yourself have to go through that material and try to modify as per the need. So obviously you should come to their standards. Don't ever feel that I'm not reaching to their standards. We all learn, and at last we will definitely learn.
Yes, sir. Yes. Right, sir. Okay,
Ms.
sir.
Isha
Thank
Sharma, if you can mute yourself, I'll unmute Amrita Vaishnavi. She has a question.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Happy morning.
Yes.
Thank you for your session. And my question is like, okay, I do understand. It was all like MCQs, framing it up is all fine. But my question is like, we mostly depend on past papers, right? So this is to help us. Of course, it is a skill we have to learn. I have
Yes.
no doubt about it. But still, would you suggest from your experience to frame the teacher to frame their own MCQs, or you go with the past papers alone?
See, past paper, you rarely see, if you take an MCQ, you rarely see that particular question repeating in Cambridge exam.
Yeah.
The concept might be, they might ask the concept again. So best practice is, it is better to prepare, at least for mock exam,
Okay.
have your own MCQ paper.
Okay. Okay, sir. And one more thing, apart from MCQs, like I'm in your same combination of handling economics as well as global perspectives.
Okay.
I find very difficult to manage during examinations while reviewing the team project, individual thing, essays and everything. So how do you manage with the GPA as well as economics?
See, GP is more research-based subject. Okay, but unfortunately, most teachers make GP as a social studies, and they do follow course. Yeah, course book is already always there. But what you have to do is, you should set aside some time. What you do is, instead of doing everything together, maybe you start with individual report, you complete that task, you make your student to learn team project, make them practice on that. And one more thing, since you asked, most teachers, what they do is, when I mark papers, I feel why, in what way they are selecting this research question. They are actually vague. Most of the students. I'm not talking about India, US and all. I don't understand. They just like that they are. Okay, so
Okay.
the research question and all should be narrow. They are not doing PhD. Why they have to work too much? So they have to take, you choose, let your student choose a topic on individual report which is having narrow scope. Should not be broad. There's no need for it.
Okay, sir. Can you tell me a difference between an RQ for IGCSE and an RQ for a checkpoint? Is it okay if you can answer?
Argue for?
Research question. What is the difference between framing research question at an 8th grade level and at an
See,
IGCSE?
you have to determine. See, you have everything available. I hope you have access to teacher support site. So what you have to do is you download their syllabus copy, see their standards. You have everything mentioned there. How much percentage, what is their assessment objectives? What percentage of objective you have to achieve? Please see to that.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Amrita Vaishnavi. Can you mute yourself, please? I'll
Yes, ma'am.
unmute KV Asha Narsimaya. Ma'am has raised the hand before. If she has any question. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Firstly, thank you so much, sir, for this and the short class in session on this MCQ, effective MCQ. My question is, see, if you take any topic, there will be plenty. We feel like, oh yeah, there are a lot to make and each and everything is important, but still, how to take up the, very, very important questions without compromising with another important.
Yeah, I understood, because we have this challenge of making our student to get a very good grade. We say Cambridge is knowledge-based exam, and then when results come out, it is different then, because we have to meet the challenges uh, asked by our school, our different stakeholders. So we need to answer them. So the best practice, what you would do is, can you please repeat the question, the later part of it?
Like there, in one, particular topic, there are a lot of important.
So a lot of questions are there.
Knowledge-based questions,
Yes,
like how to minimize, because MCQs we hardly ask less, right? Not the whole assessment.
Yeah, I would
is
tell
based
you,
on-
ma'am, it is all about your experience. The experience teaches you. You cannot, you should have a right prediction also. So you teach them everything, but I would say,
narrow-based or broad-based, like
no,
wide.
please take the current scenario. Always what is happening globally. You should know. We should know what is happening. Like I was just thinking about climate change. So you can expect most questions from climate change. Like that, you need to think.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Iltiza, if you can unmute yourself. Ma'am, Dr. Iltiza, you have raised your hand, right? Dr. Iltiza, are you there? Okay. I don't see ma'am. Anyone with any more questions? The participants? Dr. Farah is there, Indra Kalyan, Jyoti, anyone? No questions? Okay.
Ma'am, may I?
Yes, Dr. Farah. Please go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
So I would just like to ask, like, as you pointed out, we do have differentiated learners in the class. So when it comes to planning question papers also, I do know that, like, I teach physics for A levels, IGCSE and IB. So especially I've noticed is that IGCSE level, that majority, like there are certain percentage of students who are able to easily solve because they've already solved those past papers and they're already aware about the type of questions that come in at IGCSE level.
Yeah.
So when it comes to meeting the needs of these higher order learners, how do we like cater to them and at the same time meet the needs of the lower achievers also?
Don't segregate them. First
Okay.
thing. Don't think that they cannot do or they will do. Of course, no teacher will do that. But my suggestion again would be, please remember 3 P's. Practice, practice, practice. Make them practice. You take a slow learner or a brilliant child in the class. Don't
Okay.
discriminate. Make them practice. Definitely there will be improvement. 100% there will be improvement. And you
Okay.
please analyze, like if your high achievers in your class, if they are going wrong in particular subject, particular MCQs, why they are doing that? What made them to choose that? Try to learn that. I mean, try to understand them. That is the best option. Like why they opted this, why not this? What is their observation? That would help you.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farah. Ms. Debushri Bhattacharya, you have unmuted yourself once. You have any question? Okay. Ms. Kadambari, Jyoti, Kanchan. Yeah. Ms. Shipra has a question, I think. Shipra, you want to unmute yourself, ma'am? Anyone else with a question? Okay. So, Mr. Kiran,
Yes.
I have prepared some questions from myself. If any participant wants to ask the questions, I can unmute them. Please raise your hand. Otherwise, I will go ahead with my questions. Sir, my first question is, what are your thoughts on the future of MCQ assessments in the evolving landscape of online education, sir? How should educators prepare for these changes?
MCQs will be definitely incorporated in all the assessments. And educators should learn these principles, should understand this and try to implement their own practice. That is very, very important, because again, if you move back to online and you have the access to chat GPT and all, so we have a greater challenge now as educators, that we need to challenge chat GPT more. It is our responsibility to ensure that the questions are framed in such a way that even chat GPT should not be in a position to answer. That is where we can survive the next global challenge which may arise. Shouldn't be, actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So technology has become an integral part of our lives, right, sir?
Yes.
So speaking about the technology, how can we effectively use technology and online tools to enhance the creation and administration of MCQs?
See, technology we have now, we are every third month we'll speak only about chat GPT or AI, and also we just give some input, it will prepare MCQs. But we should use technology in optimum way. Let technology should not dominate us. Technology should not make us lazy. That is my suggestion. It should be an effective tool to achieve something good. It should be betterment for our students and all stakeholders, but it should not make us lazy, and everything is there. So if we are lazy by technology, we are putting ourselves into threat.
Right, sir. So speaking about the best practices, can you share some more best practices for designing MCQs that are inclusive and culturally sensitive?
What you have to do is ensure that you are making MCQs not end of the class, but when you are asking question to your students, you need to frame in your mind what this kind of question I'll be asking. See the scenario there and try to prepare a question, rather than completing the syllabus or your lesson and then think about, I'll make this question. So it should be ongoing process.
Mm-hmm. So discussing about the analytics, sir, it plays a very important role in any job, right?
Yes.
So how can we use this data analytics to improve the quality and effectiveness of our MCQs over time?
See, the data response, what Cambridge frames. So like you have different papers, wherein which we give data response and all. So what we would do is we need to ensure that we are using a right question. There is a science behind asking question also, and we should ensure that we are asking the right question to the top. And tough means it is not that we make something and give it to student.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So what are some techniques for ensuring that our MCQs remain challenging yet fair for all students? You have mentioned none of the above should be taken out, all of the above should be
Yes,
taken
yes.
out, and there should be only one correct answer, right?
Yes.
So can you throw more light on this, that on the techniques? Like, it should be challenging for them, yet fair for all students.
See, what we could do is what we have to do is we need to teach them in such a way that they are ready to take challenges. That is most important. When we are preparing them for life rather than having one degree with them, then definitely any kind of question or any kind of question we are posing them, they will be definitely able to answer. And the best technique would be don't wait till the lesson is over. In between, you need to think. If you are going to market, try to link your concept to the market and try to design one particular question. If anything happens, imagine yourself there in that particular position. In what way you will. Likewise, your student also need to think to be able to face the challenging work.
Right. So you have done a great research on this topic, sir. So what's your approach to balance between the difficulty of questions and the overall exam difficulty?
We did a research. I mean, they are working on it because what Cambridge have did is what they do usually is they see school wise and they take the statistics of these particular schools are good at MCQs, but this particular batch is good on doing MCQs, but not the other batch. And they try to, in what way we can balance is creating more awareness about this assessment, creating more learn. The educators should know about this. If they know about this principle, okay, they understand and this is the way by which they are setting the papers and all. So basically what we need to do is ensure that they follow, all the educators should know about this assessment principles.
Right. So coming to the feedback, sir, what role does feedback play in the effectiveness of these MCQs, and how can we provide meaningful feedback to students?
Meaningful feedback will be given not for the correct answer. Don't say that you did absolutely wonderful job, but if they are going one or two MCQs wrong, why they are doing it wrong. I was just telling from the starting of the webinar, we need to discuss with the child what make them to do that, so that we are taking feedback from them and we are passing the right feedback. We are able to understand them, what made them to choose that. So that is it. Yes.
So how can we prepare the MCQs, assess higher order thinking skills rather than just rote memorization?
We should never give define this. What is the definition of that? So if you ask any question, define that term, that amounts to rote learning, that we should not encourage, but rather we should prepare. That's what I was saying. As an educator, even if you're going to a supermarket and if you see an offer, try to incorporate in your subject. I'm not saying physics and chemistry you can do that. We cannot do that, of course. But if you are having that what to say, thinking beyond the box capacity, we can still make a question out of it. And don't just throw the question to the student. Maybe to your fellow colleague, you please show if this question is given to you, what would you say? And if they are opting the right answer, what you have in your mind, then yes, that is true. But if they are going for wrong answer, then take from their them reflection. What reflection there? Why they have chosen the wrong? That is what we need to do.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran. You have answered all the questions patiently. And we also thank the audience for participating in the event. Participants, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Otherwise, we will end the session now. I guess the participants doesn't have any questions. Sir, your expert knowledge combined with engaging presentation style and practical advice made the session an enriching educational experience. I'm hoping it's the same to all the participants too. We thank you again for giving your precious time for our school reformer and giving a talk on our platform. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you so much. Thank you all of you for attending.